Good morning to you. Hope the day finds you well. I've been out here tinkering around today. This is first in a series of From the Bench. And as you can see, nobody said it was from the huge bench. It's more from like the crowded, crap-filled bench. I was cleaning out some old boxes of stuff. During the summer months, I go to estate sales and stuff and kind of prowl around for things that look fun or interesting to fiddle with, or to I don't know, supply my other projects. And I was cleaning out some boxes of junk, and I stumbled onto an old RCA remote. And for those that today's remotes are pretty compact and they're button filled, and this baby was probably from the 70s. This is an ultrasonic remote. It actually used ultrasonic or sound out of the hearing range, above the range of human hearing, to control the TV. This was an RCA one, I think I mentioned that already. We're going around in a circle. And it's not terribly compact, and it's only got 4 buttons. On, off, up and down volume, and the just channel. I guess the channel just went one direction. Although back then, it probably only rotated the VHF channel selector. Most TVs back then only went from channel 2 to channel 13, so it probably wasn't too bad. Actually, remotes earlier than this were all kind of ultrasonic, but they had a weird. I don't have one. I looked around a little bit. I used to. You would punch the button and it would thump this metal slug. It was kind of a clanking noise, and that was it was kind of a tuning fork is what it was, and then the TV would pick it up. These remotes are kind of interesting. They're transistorized, but they used a battery that was used like in garage door batteries. Really, garage door remotes. Nope, that's interesting. I take that back. That can't be right. Well, this is actually a AA battery, but that's not right. Here it's. I'll have to look into that. And this thing is kind of interesting. It's only got 4 real functions on it, and the UHF transducer is right here. There's probably, oh, that's a transistor. There's probably a little tuned circuit right here. The little tiny variable cap. And on the back, it looks like somebody has put the frequencies for the channel, what do I say, the modes, or what are you going to call it? Like the channel mode is 41.25. I assume that's probably kilohertz. I don't know. I'd have to fire this up. This is actually kind of interesting. It's pretty big, and the channel tuning stuff and all the switching here is kind of interesting, because when you punch a button, like here's the channel up, it moves this. Excuse me. Stop. It moves this switch that way, and then down is this way, and then the other ones are just that way. This circuit board, by today's standards, is probably pretty primitive. I bet this is something you could produce in your own home nowadays. The tuning circuit is probably here. The transducer is here. I'm not sure what all this looks like, just bracing. I'm not sure if that's really just a jumper. If it is, it's pretty elaborate. And you can kind of see the components. It's all discrete. There is no integration here. There's a kind of a really old transistor. Oh yeah, right there. I just thought this was sort of interesting. I might hook this up to the oscilloscope. I need to figure out what the battery is. There was a battery in there, but it... What's kind of funny is there was some there's some foam padding between these contacts to kind of make it springy to keep the battery in place, and it's turned into like a rock. Here's the outside of the thing. There's the actual remote itself. There's really nothing there. Remotes were kind of few and far between back then. I think this is from the 70s. And you can kind of tell by that battery. That might be the right battery. I don't know. I don't think so. It's a little triple or double A. It's Eveready, just one of their basic. I think this is just a basic carbon cell. Well, it says transistor battery. So I don't know. I thought most of these had bigger batteries. They were more square. They were 22 volt. They were used in garage door openers. I remember building a few projects using those. There were two styles. There was a one that was pretty much like this, and there was one that was a little wider. It just had more power. But that's, I don't know, different story, I guess. I don't know. I might try and find the battery that belongs in this and hook it up to the oscilloscope, see what we can see. Well, let me do a little research and I'll get back to you. If it turns into a dead end, I guess we'll I don't know, call it a dead end. Still kind of cool. It's huge. It's just funny. Today's remotes are button filled and I don't know, use multiple cells, and cheap as hell. I bet if you lost that remote, I'll bet that was probably about $70 or $80. I don't know. Let me, we'll just stop here, and I'll be back in a little bit. How's that sound? Thanks a lot. Well, we're back. A little snooping around to try and find out what this battery part number was. It says use RCA battery VS1334 or equivalent. Well, that is the actual pin line, but I had a heck of a time finding that was what it was. Apparently batteries have went through a lot of changes over the years. It doesn't want to go in very well. Actually, I'm not worried about it getting in there. I'm worried about it getting out. That foam is... I wonder if that's the same height even. It's kind of interesting how batteries have changed over the years. That contact is a lot bigger. Actually looks like that battery, this battery might be a teeny bit longer. That might be why this one seems to fit in there just fine. They may have changed the dimensions over the years. Yeah, it fits in there. Well, let's hook up the old scope probe if we can find it. It's buried under a, there it is. Buried under some other mad projects here. Let's see here. You're not going to be able to see this where that darn... Well, I'll tell you what. Well, okay. That was a little unforeseen rigmarole, so we'll just try without it and see what we can come up with. Ooh, that thing has got a lot of... Yep, it's well, I believe it's ultrasonic. Yeah. Huh. Actually, that's so strong, my frequency counter might be able to see it. It's pretty much a decent sine wave. Let's see what the low frequency counter has to say. This is the on and off button. 41. So here's one of the, I guess this is the channel, or this is a volume down button. That's the volume up button, and so that baby actually works. That's scary. Wonder how old that thing is. Well, it's terribly interesting, I guess. I don't know. Every journey begins with a first step. I suppose if a person had an ancient TV they were trying to whip back into shape or restore, and it had a remote and it was missing, that might be a valuable piece of property. I have to do a little research. Never know what you might find out there in the real world. Sometimes those little trinkets turn into gold. Even if they aren't resellable or nobody will buy them, they're still interesting. This thing's got like 3 or 4 huge screws to hold it in. They're like, I think they're number 6s. This thing's a real piece of engineering. Kind of curious what that transducer might be. It's probably a piezo or crystal. It might, I suppose it could be a little speaker. There it says RCA 5. I don't know if that means anything or not. There's actually, over in here where the contacts are, there's kind of a smear of, it looks like grease. Maybe it was to keep those contacts from oxidizing. Well, I think this is kind of a dead end, unless I can think of something to do with ultrasonic remotes. Like annoy dogs or cats or other stuff. This is kind of pointless. Oh well. You win some, you lose some. Anyway, thanks for stopping by and seeing what I got going on. I got some other mad projects I'm working on. This radio is one of them. Been making quite a bit of progress on that. Actually, I've been this will probably be the next thing in the From the Bench series. So if you want to pop back, if you subscribe, you'll get a nice little I guess, I don't know if it's actually an email. You get a little information in your subscription window on your YouTube channel, or your YouTube account, excuse me. And it lets you know that I've made a new video and put it up, so you won't have to come back. You can just look at that and decide whether you want to. Wow, that's scary. That battery is still good. Oh, really? Huh. Wonder how old that thing is. Oh well, live and learn. So, if you want to subscribe to my channel, or have a comment or a question, feel free to do any of those things. We'll talk to you later. Have a great day.